We all know what a new phone costs, right? But the real price isn't paid in dollars.
So let's look behind the screen and see what your phone really costs the world. First up, cobalt. Your phone story? It starts deep in the ground.
This little mineral powers our world, but its extraction comes at a huge human cost. Locals say toxic waste from these mines is just devastating their health and their land. We're talking contaminated water, serious illnesses, all tied directly to the mining pollution.
And that cost? It doesn't even stop at the mine. It follows you to the cloud.
Yeah, some green data centers might just be a marketing trick with way higher emissions.
Okay, next up, inside the factory. This is where another human cost really shows up.
Workers at some suppliers are under insane pressure, clocking unbelievable amounts of overtime. And this right here is actual proof of those insane hours people are forced to work. Imagine standing for 12 hours straight, and for wages you can't even live on. Get this. This poster shows they literally won't hire you based on ethnicity, age, or height. And living conditions? They're awful. Think a dozen people crammed into one tiny dorm room. So why do we keep buying new phones? Well, it turns out it's by design. It's called planned obsolescence. Basically, your phone is built to fail, so you buy another. And that leads to a huge e-waste problem. 62 million metric tons in just 1 year.
What's worse, this junk is super toxic, poisoning our soil and our water.
But there's another way. Instead of throwing it all away, what if we just repaired it? I mean, it just makes sense, right? Repairing your phone is way cheaper than buying new.
Plus, just using your phone longer? It's one of the best things you can do for the planet.
And phones like the Fairphone, they prove we can build stuff that's actually meant to be fixed.
Look, it's a complicated system, but we as consumers actually have a lot of power here.
The whole system is built to squeeze costs, and complex supply chains hide the ugly truth.
So the next time you upgrade, ask yourself, what is the real cost you're willing to pay?
So, you just dropped $1,000 on a new iPhone, but where does all that cash actually go?
Well, check this out. A huge chunk, we're talking over half, goes right into Apple's pockets.
Apple's making a killing, but its suppliers, they're barely scraping by on razor-thin margins.
So what gives when suppliers get squeezed that hard? Well, that pressure lands squarely on the workers.
Yep. To stay in business, suppliers cut corners on stuff like wages and even safety training. And this is where it all happens. Inside massive factories, just like this one in Shanghai.
Get this, investigators found workers making a base pay of just $1.50 an hour? Crazy!
And it gets worse. A deep dive found 86 different labor violations. That's a lot.
And look, this isn't just numbers on a page. This is a real person's payslip, the proof.
But the hidden costs don't end there. There's also a huge environmental price tag to consider. Globally, we create a literal mountain of e-waste every year, and that number is only growing.
And here's the really scary part. We're only recycling a tiny fraction of it properly.
It's all part of this throwaway culture, you know, where it's just easier to buy new.
So is there any hope? Actually, yeah. People are pushing back in a couple of key ways.
First is the right to repair movement. It's a simple idea. We should be able to fix our own stuff.
I mean, think about it. Repairing is way cheaper and keeps phones from turning into toxic junk.
To be fair, Apple is making some moves. They're investing in things like recycling bots and greener energy.
And here's the kicker. Data shows that treating workers better could actually make more money.
Which brings us all the way back to the beginning. What is an iPhone really worth? Because that sticker price you see in the store, yeah, that's just the tip of the iceberg.
So it leaves us with this question for you. What do you value most when you buy something new?